Check. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another live stream. See how we're doing. Let me check here. Looks like we got about 15 people in the house here. How's the audio? How's the video? How's everything look? Let me know in the comment section over here. Hopefully everything's going well. Had a little bit of a hard start at the very beginning. I don't know why. For some reason, it wanted me to go to like a second camera, and I didn't set up a second camera. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another live stream. See how we're. All right, now I can mute that. All right, I'm monitoring my my stuff, so it sounds good. That's always the problem. Sometimes, not always the problem, but when I did some of these live streams before, it would like. The audio would be god awful. But I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good handle on how to like set up an event, so now I can schedule something for you guys. So yeah, that's it. Welcome to Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing these live streams every week, every Tuesday, 9:30. That's when we're going to be doing these live streams. We're going to be covering different topics throughout the week. Not throughout the week. We're going to be covering different topics. If you guys want to cover a particular topic, you let me know. I'm going to try to get back some more interviews that we did before, because I did really like those interviews, and I know you guys did too as well. Some quick shout outs. Jaybird in the house. Johnny Hernandez, what's going on? Who else do we have here? Julian Florin, all the way from the UK. B3 Car Audio and Accessories, what's going on? Jose Chimol in the house. Thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. I'm going to turn down my volume here. I don't want to blow your ears out. Okay, so tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about VLTs, visible light transmission, what you should stock. We're going to be talking about what you should stock at the very beginning when you first start, and what you should be stocking, you know, when you're on the ground and you're fully stocked and you're ready to rock and you're just running a hardcore business. We're going to be talking about all of those and then some throughout the time period. We are changing the schedule just a little bit. These live streams are not going to be going very long. 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. I don't want to hold myself to a time frame. I want to be able to give the quality of information. If that takes 20 minutes, then it takes 20 minutes. If it takes 30 minutes, I'm shooting for 30 minutes, but sometimes I can't. I don't want to draw out and fluff a topic. So that's what we're going to be doing throughout the topic portions. We are going to still have the Q&A section. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. We are going to have the Q&A section. We are going to do it to the very end, 10 to 15 minutes. I see the chats here. Feel free to talk within the chat. Try to save your questions for the Q&A section of the live stream. That way I can see it, because if you write it down now, I'm not going to see it for another 45 minutes and I might miss your question. So that is that right there. Let's see here. Okay, and before we get started, I did want to let you know that this episode of Window Tinting Business, the live stream, we are trying to figure out a better name, by the way, but this is brought to you in part by Soak Shield. For those of you guys who don't know, Soak Shield is the first and the original microfiber braided rope. For those of you guys that do front windshields, back windshields as well, you know, water damage is a really dangerous thing, and it could cost a lot, you know, hundreds to even thousands of dollars, especially if you're working on some of these new electric cars, Teslas, and different things of that nature. A Soak Shield can definitely save your butt. So make sure that you pick up a Soak Shield. Most distributors have them already. Ask your distributor, ask whoever you're using to for your film. Make sure just to ask, and if they don't, ask them why they're not stocking the Soak Shields. And do keep in mind, there are copycats, there are knockoffs. Make sure it says Soak Shield, the original Soak Shield. So yep, that's what. And last but not least, our other sponsor here is going to be CertifiedTinter.com. This is a brand new website that's going to be opening up and launching January 1st is the tentative time frame. Actually, it's me and my guy Matt from Tint Stuff. We're going to be actually collaborating together to be putting together an online source training center, video libraries. We're going to be doing live Q&A sessions there. And we're gonna be doing a lot of cool stuff. We're gonna be trying to get a lot of good ideas, but more to come down there. So again, yeah, that's CertifiedTinter.com. We're not launching until January the 1st, but I just wanted to start pushing it out there and let people know what's going on. So that is that. Let me see anything else. Last but not least, just to let you guys know, Super Chat is activated. If you guys don't know what Super Chat is, Super Chat's an option and a way for you guys to be able to donate to the channel, and then all proceeds go to obviously help support the channel as well. All right, and now with that out of the way, like I said, let's go ahead and get into our tonight's topic. Tonight's topic, again, VLTs, what you should stock. We're going to be coming back in just a minute. Okay. All right, guys, and we are back. Yes, so VLTs, visible light transmission. I got to keep an eye on the timer here because I want to make sure I stay on track here. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we're doing really good. Actually, I'm about a couple minutes ahead of schedule, so good. All right, so visible light transmissions, what you should stock. This is a really good question. I did actually ask this question within my group just this week. Again, if you're not part of Window Tinting Business on Facebook, go ahead and check us out, check the group out. It's just basically a community where we're able to go ahead and talk amongst each other, because it's a little bit hard just here on YouTube. So it's easier for everyone to talk to each other there. So VLTs, what you should stock, and this is my opinion again, one of the things that you should stock is 5%, because people are going to want to, for some reason, it doesn't happen all the time, but people do want to like limo out their vehicle, and they really do not care about tickets or anything. They just want it limoed out. They don't care. They don't care. So 5% is definitely a must. You have to have 5%. Next, I'd say 20%. Now in Florida, it's actually 15 because that's the legal limit, and people don't want to carry 15 and 20. 20, I'd say, would be best and better suited for matching factory windows. But to carry a 15 and a 20 in Florida really doesn't work. If you're outside of Florida, most likely 20% would be, I'd say, would be a better match than the 15. And you carry that just specifically so that you can match up. So you most of the time, so you can have a darker option that's darker than the legal limit but lighter than limo. It's kind of like an in between. And also, if you're just doing front roll-ups on like an SUV or any multi-purpose vehicle, you're going to be using that as well, and that's going to give you a really good matchup. So that's number 2. Number 3, this one is going to be a little bit different. It's going to change depending on the state that you're in. So number 3 is going to be the darkest legal within your state. So let me explain that to you real quickly. In Florida, the darkest legal limit is 30% on the front and then 15% on the back doors and the back glass. When I was in Alabama, it was, I think the legal limit is actually 32%. So everyone put 35. So, but that's in Alabama, 35 all the way around was the legal limit. So, so if you're in a state like that where it is 32%, then the darkest legal would be 35. So I hope that kind of makes sense. And it depends. You know, there's other very like wonky states, like I think parts of California are 70%, and other parts of, let me think. Like New York, I think New York is about a 70%. If you haven't seen a 70%, it's not very dark at all. Not very dark at all. And, you know, in other places, I believe, like Arizona and New Mexico, they're like, it's like whatever. In the back, you can go whatever. You can black it out if you really wanted to. So just that third option, I would check with your local state laws and see which one that is. So that's number 3. Number 4, I would say is a 50%. And a 50% is really good, especially on the higher end qualities like your ceramic lines, because you can double up and sell it as a windshield. So you can sell windshields, and if you want to have a little bit of tint, a little bit of privacy, but they don't want like just a visibly clear film, then that's just an option. I carry 50, and I have 50 on my windshield, and you know, to be honest, I don't think I've had people even tell me that they got a warning about their tint on their windows and they never noticed that they had tint on their front windshield. So if you're not doing front windshields, technically they are illegal. I mean, unless you're going 70 or 80% on the front windshield, any tint at all, it would be illegal. But I mean, everyone does it, to be honest. I mean, you know, some people say it's going to ruin the industry and blah, 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 but I don't really believe it's, I mean, I won't go like 30 or 25 or 15 or any darks. I'll tell people no. But at 50%, I don't really believe it's all that dangerous, because it's just a really light tint. Really light tint. Changed up. No coffee today, but I changed it up with the old beer here. So yeah, I think 50% would be good, because again, you can sell windshields on that. I sell windshields, sedans and coupes. I sell front windshields for $150 to $175, and for SUVs and trucks, bigger windshields, I sell them for $200 to $225. I know people that are selling them for way more than that. So also 50% could double up if you're looking for a way to, like, maybe if they want a tint on like an SUV that already has like the factory glass on the back, but they want more. They want the protection, they want the privacy, they want the UVA protection and UVB protection, the heat rejection, but they don't want to go too dark. 50% on top of that would be a really good compromise, and that you know, it's just another tool in your arsenal that you can use. And then last but not least, I would say a 70 or an 80% would be the very best. The very best in regards to like optically clear. You're not going to get like completely clear. There is still a little bit of tint in there, but that's if you just don't want. And some places that do allow front windshields will allow 70 or 80%. So that's a really good option as well. And I mean, once or twice before, I have seen people, or I've heard of people using or asking for 70% on their car. Like, they don't want tint at all, but they want to have the UVA, UVB protection, the heat rejection, but they don't want to make it look like they have tint. So it's a little bit different, but it's all right. I mean, to each their own, I guess, right? So that would be, and keep in mind, this is all in one line. So if you have a good, better, best option, then these 5 shades that I'm talking about are just in one line, in your good line. So you got 5 in your good, 5 in your better, 5 in your best. So I mean, if you're not even talking about like 12-inch cuts for glare strips or sun strips, you're talking a stock of about 15 rolls. That gets pretty expensive. So how do you do that? How do you do that? What should you start? If you're just starting out, that's like the ideal way to go. Like 15 rolls, I would say. 15 rolls. And you better not do Tesla Model 3s, because you're going to need 60-inch rolls, and that's just even more out of pocket. That's for a later live stream. But I would say those rolls would be the very best. But what if you're just starting out? I'd probably say close to $10,000 worth of film, give or take. Depends on the manufacturer that you're going at. So if you're just starting out, what do you do? What I would suggest is that you start off with either I wouldn't suggest starting off in a ceramic line, because if you did get the 5 shades in a ceramic line, you know, I know that some ceramics that I've heard people using, like I think CTX is $600 a roll. You know, so 6 times 5, that's $3,000. That's a lot of money to get started. So what I would suggest is to either start within a dyed section, or maybe like a hybrid, something with a little bit higher heat rejection, maybe middle of the road. But I'd start with one of those, probably a dyed, to be honest. And if you really, really like, you're just starting out and you're just building your bankroll, I would probably start, like in Alabama, I would just do a 35. That's it, because 35 will get you all the way around. Now in Florida, it's different because it's 15 in the back, 30 in the front. You would have to start with those 2 shades at least. But I would start with that. And then I would go from like the 35, and then I would add the 20 next. And again, the 20 would be really great for front roll-ups on SUVs, just 2 fronts. I would start with those 2. And then once you start building a little bankroll, you're starting doing the jobs with those films, you know, and you can ask, and people can ask you like, oh, do you offer 5%? And you just tell them like, no, I just don't do anything illegal. I don't do illegal window film. So, and that's just a good workaround, because it makes it look obviously like you're like, it doesn't, you can't say like, hey, I can't afford 5% just yet. So that just looks horrible, but you could just, it makes it look like you're a little bit of a nicer guy. You're like, oh no, I just keep everything legal. So, after that, I would either flip a coin either between 50%, 50 or 70, whichever one you think you'd sell more, or the limo. I'd say the limo would be last, because like there's very few people that really, really want to like murder out their car. But you can sell a lot more windshields, I'd say, than limo tint. And then after that, you get the 2 shades for the front windshield, 50 and 70, and then later after that, then you get the limo. And then once you get all those and you stock up your goods section, then you should start bankrolling, because you can have more options to sell to people. And then after that, then you start building, and you do the same thing, but now you start building on the next line up. You started on your good, now you stocked your good, now let's go to your better. And now your better, you start off again with the 20%, maybe like the 35 or the 30, depends on where you're at. And then you build that up. And then that's how you build up to be able to have a film inventory of $10,000 to $15,000, because you're just slowly snowballing all those, all the work that you're doing with it. Here, got some calls here. Nope, not answering that. Looks like we got about 13 people watching, so that's nice. That's nice. Let me think here. Yeah, we are way ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. I should be talking for until like the 40-minute mark, so we have like another like 20 minutes, 21 minutes. I don't think I have 21 minutes of VLT talk in me. I'll be honest with you then. But if you guys are just joining us, this is Window Tinting Business, where we strive to inform, inspire, and improve you as a professional. Today's topic, we're talking about VLTs, what you should stock. And welcome to the live stream. We're going to be doing these live streams every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, changing it up a little bit here. I'm mainly doing it also because the Flash is on every Tuesday. I didn't realize that. If you guys don't watch the Flash, it is awesome. Go ahead and check it out if you're not, or if you haven't seen it. It's unbelievable. Anyways, so yeah, that is that. I think, you know what? I think we're just going to keep it real simple, real easy. Like I told you, I'm not trying to fluff it here. I want to give out the information that I have, and then if I don't have enough to talk about, then we're just going to go ahead and move on from there. So at this time, what I'll do is we'll go ahead and open up the Q&A section here, and then I'll start sifting through here and seeing any questions that we may have missed. We're going to do Q&A not too long, probably about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I don't want, and here was the thing too, that's why I kind of stopped doing the weekly live streams, because I guess, well, it was really my fault, really, because I stopped doing actually the topics and just started getting on and just doing Q&A. But then it was like, it kind of felt boring, you know what I mean? So that's why we're going to switch it up. Make sure we do a topic. Hopefully, we'll get some interviewees and some people in the industry, and break off the knowledge, get some knowledge for them as well. So let's go ahead and move over to the Q&A section. 10 to 15 minutes, nothing too crazy. Bam, here. Let me start off and look through here, see if we have any questions. Jay Bird asked, how did I do at the tint off? The tint off went actually really well. Really well. I didn't make it into the finals. It was a Toyota Yaris, which isn't bad. It had a little bit of a, towards the front, it had a little bit of a lip up on the molding. And I did shrink the film this year, but I was focused on getting that film in the corner, like dipped in the corner of the front corner. And instead of like squeegeeing from center out, I didn't even think about it. And I just went from left all the way right. So, and then a finger ended up popping up on me after I left. So that's no bueno. But besides that, everything else was pretty solid. The year before, it was like the window was perfect, but everything else was a train wreck. I left film on the table, my tools. I have this giant toolbox, rolling toolbox that opens up like 3 different levels, and I just left that like right in front of the car, like so the judges had to like walk around it. And so this year was better, but I haven't gotten the results exactly just yet. They haven't released those. They wait a little bit because the last thing you want to do is piss off 100 people that know how to use a knife. I think they tried that one year, and there was like a mob. Any new tips learned at the tint off? Any new tips? Let me think. Yeah, be prepared. The year before was a little bit easier because I live in Florida, so I just drove to West Palm Beach and I had everything. This year I had to fly to San Antonio, so I didn't have everything with me, and I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. I got caught up. I'll be honest with you. I got caught up with seeing everyone and checking out the the event and everything else. I should have probably focused a little bit more. But like I said, I did really good. It just wasn't us this year, unfortunately. Johnny Hernandez, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Someone asked a question here. How do you get small creases when already applied on the window and went over with a hard card? It could have been that maybe you didn't squeeze it as hard as you needed to. Like I usually do. I'll use a side swipe at first just to get the majority of the water out, and then I'll either that or I'll use a just a regular fusion handle with a blade like red line, and I'll go over it fairly lightly and then go over with a power stroke second time around. Could have been that maybe you were dry and the squeegee stuck and then kind of just push the film. That could happen. That's why I'm totally in love with these new red lines. The red lines from Fusion. Whew, good luck. If you can't get it, you might not be able to get your hands on it. Everyone is sold out right now. Everyone. But this thing is nasty. This is the Blue Max killer. If you guys have been using Blue Max and you like Blue Max, then you're gonna love the red line from Fusion. Check it out. Everyone's trying to get their hands on them. I know that the Fusion is sending more out as quickly as they can, but if you haven't tried it, get your hands on a red line. They're amazing. Paulo from Brazil, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Martin Michael, hey, what's up? What? Jaybird says, haven't done 5% in years since they changed the laws. $10,000 fine for shops here. Wow. In New Mexico. Legal for New Mexico. I'm assuming he's in New Mexico. Wow. That is for real. Y'all, don't be losing your shops now. 10 grand is a lot of money. Show cars, 20% all around legal for New Mexico. Show cars, skin cancer doctor notes, in 1995 and back can have 5. That's it. Oof. It's all right. I really don't sell a lot of 5% anyways. %. Jose says he uses 28% to match factory tint. You know, I've heard people say 15. I've heard people say 20. I haven't heard people say 28. I have seen like some older BMWs, and every now and then like a higher end car will give me like it'll be like 30%. It won't be 20. But that's most of the time it's like 20%. Just right around 20%. But that's what I've been using. Yeah, Jose says a 36-inch by 100 of CTX is $550. Yep. Like I said, ceramic ain't cheap at all. I'm trying to move down here on these questions here. Keep asking your questions, guys, if you have any. Once these questions start drying up, that's when I'm going to go ahead and shut her down for this week. Wow, it looks like we got about 18 people here. What's going on, y'all? For those of you guys that are watching, we are in the Q&A section of the live stream, so go ahead and jot down some questions that you guys have. I'm going to be taking questions for the next few more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up for this week, and then we'll be going on again next week. So let's check and see what we have here. Claire B said, I tinted my car, but I really like to learn to do it professionally. Oh yeah, it just takes time. The way I started is I got myself a bunch of tools, I got myself a bunch of film, and I tinted every car I could get my hands on. And I did that for about 2 or 3 months, and then I worked for a shop. That's how I started. I got a question about when looking looking at VLT to meet legal limit. Do you have to consider the OEM window VLT, or you can be too low on VLT to be legal if you start with that tint that meets the laws? Okay, so here's the question: do you try to find the film? Is the film VLT supposed to hit the legal limit, or is it the amount that's on the car? For those of you guys that don't know or don't understand, oops, sorry if that was really loud. So the film itself has a VLT, right? So most of the time, whatever it's on the box, usually it'll say 30, 35, 20, 15. But when you tint on a car, like even clear glass has a VLT of like 70%. Okay, or if you had like factory tint, that's like 20%, right? So when you put film on top of that, let's just say it's 70% clear glass. And you're putting a 30% on top of that clear glass, that clear glass will not meter at 30%. It'll actually meter lower, probably I'd say between 27 and 28%. So like in Alabama, the legal limit is 32%. So most people go 35 because most manufacturers don't manufacture like a 34 or 32. So but yeah, the legal limit is for when you're doing when the film is on the glass and afterwards, and what does that meter once it's on the glass? That's what it needs to be. So you always want to go a little bit higher, and you could do the math. The math, I believe, is if you divide the two into each other, or multiply the two into each other. Yeah, let me see. How do we do that? I have to actually do it. Then I will see here. There we go. Okay, so you have to multiply it together. So let me see if I can show you guys here on my calculator. Let's say I had a 70%, so 0.70, right? And then let's say I'm putting 30% on that window, right? So I'm going to multiply it times, see that there, 0.3 right there. And then if it equals, it says 21%, but I think that's a little low. Once you get into the lower areas, it's they start becoming off, because apparently if you go 5% on top of 5, it's like 0.0025. That's the math, at least, but it gives you a ballpark estimate. I mean, I wouldn't bet the farm on that. Best case scenario, get a meter and check that way. Get a meter and check that way. Do you have red lines to show? Jaybird asked. Actually, I do. Hold on. All right, here. So I got my actually Fusion Tools was a sponsor of me for this year's competition, so that's why I have a bunch of their tools. They're awesome, and I do actually love their tools. But here is the red line, if you guys haven't seen it yet. Red line extractor, 1/4 inch. So let me explain to you here. So the Orange Crush, if you see here, medium hard 6, right? The Orange Crush is a 3, and that's the durometer, or how hard the blades are. You know, I've had friends that were cutting Orange Crushes in half, so to make them more stiff. But this is more like, this is almost, I would say this is exactly like a Blue Max, but these blades are infused with like a Teflon type of coating. I've used these blades, and I haven't even, I've done it, and I didn't even wet the window. Just, it's, oh my god, it just slides. Now this is the cropped, so it's cropped here and beveled, as you can see. This one's all right, but what you really should be getting is the non-cropped. So it's going to be a square, right, or a rectangle like this, but it's double beveled. So there's a bevel on this side and a bevel on this side. So the awesome thing is that you use that blade, and then once that blade edge is done, nothing lasts forever. So once that blade edge is done, you pop it out. Instead of just throwing it away and putting a new one, just turn it around and use the other side. 2 blades in one. Phenomenal. I know everyone's trying to get their hands on them, and they're running, every distributor is running out. So they're just a really hot item right now. But just be patient. I know Fusion, the guys over at Fusion, Jordan and Nick, are the phenomenal people, and you know, they're cranking out as many as they can, because I don't think they realized that everyone was gonna just like fall in love with these things. So that is the red line, guys. Go ahead and make sure to get it. Ask your distributor, and then you can get them. Let me see if I have anything else. So this is the Orange Crush. So this is the kind I showed you, and then look, it says, wait, where's that here? See, soft 3. See that right there? So this is literally probably twice as soft as this one. So I don't know if you can see. Very, very squishy. But this is the one I was talking about. So it looks like this, right? But it's obviously, it's not the red line, but it's this shape, but then there's a bevel here and a bevel down here. So that's the one I was talking about. But Orange Crushes too, if you like Orange Crushes, use these. They're awesome too. All their blades are really awesome. The Pink Clean is really awesome for cleaning, of course. But yeah, that is the red line. Jose asks, just got back from training, want to invest in a plotter. Any suggestions? It really just depends on how much money you got to spend, brother. I am partial to Roland's. I do like Roland's, you know, but I'm like a snob. I like, and they have this sweet new Roland that came out. The GX400 was like the it plotter for the longest time. The 40 inch, not the 60, because you don't need a 60 inch really. The 40 inch plotter phenomenal. The GX400 was like the you know the breadwinner of that series, especially for tinters. They did come out with a newer version of that, I think like 2 years ago. Oh my god, this thing's so sexy. It's just awesome. If you can get it rolling, get it rolling. But if you're on a budget, I know Jaguar is good, and I think there's another one. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not biased to any of them, to be honest. I haven't heard. Here's the thing. I haven't heard bad. I mean, every different plotter is a little bit different and has their own little like tweaks and quirks, I guess you could say. But I haven't heard of a plotter that's like, oh my god, this is god awful. Don't get this plotter. They're all gonna be great. Sorry, I keep burping. Excuse me. They're all gonna be great, but you know, just find one that's within your budget, and you can even. What you can do is you can talk to your manufacturers. I'm gonna have crack another one here. You can talk to your manufacturers. You can get like a lease option. You can pay as you go. You can pay it in full. They'll work with you. They'll work with you. It's about $5,000 brand new. Or check out the forums online. There's a lot of people that like. Some people get into this business and they they have capital, but then they get into the business of window tinting and realize that it is not easy. Like there's some guys out there, I'd say me included, that make it look really easy. Like, make it look really easy because our work ends up to be really good. And then people try it and they're like, Jeezel, like, what is this witchcraft? Like, how do you do this? So, like, people will invest, like, tools and film and plotters. They'll buy brand new $5,000 plotters and then be out of the business in 6 months. So, keep an eye on these forums. People sell plotters all the time. But to answer your question, Jose, I don't think you can go wrong with any plotter you choose because a plotter is worth its weight in gold. As long as you're working fast enough that a plotter will make you more money. Like, let's say you can't do as many cars because there's only so many hours in a day. Like me, hand cutting, I can do about 4 to 5 cars a day. Probably realistically 4 cars a day. But if I'm maxing out at 4 and then I still have people asking for tint, then I would probably buy a plotter because I know on a plotter I can average about an hour and 15, around an hour to an hour and 15. For me, it's just it's faster for me. Just gonna be straight up. Steve asks, any thoughts on tinting a window that won't roll down? Yeah, tint it. What I tell people with windows that don't roll down is that I tell them that my warranty will not cover that window. And this is verbatim what you say. You say, my warranty won't cover the window because at the time of installation, the window was not working correctly. That's it. So what you can do at that point is, as the window's up, you can, throw a blade around the edges and scrape it, scrub it, whatever you want, and then just kind of slide that film in and try to push it behind the seals as best as you can. Sometimes it's too tight and you can't really get it back there, but I mean, you don't want to make it a god-awful mess, but try your best and just inform them that it's a more difficult installation just because the window isn't working correctly. And most of the time, that'll fly. That'll fly. Johnny says, from the last live, took your advice and Jaybird's doing better. So thank you guys. Excellent. Oh, Tropical Shade Tinting dropping the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much. That does help support the channel. Thank you. 1,000 thank yous. Jaybird, yeah. Jaybird's right. Clean cracks well. If window won't roll down, cut it dead on, not long. Yeah. I'd maybe shift it just a little bit. But to each their own. That's why I love working with other tinters, because the way I think and the way I would do tackle a particular window, someone else may look at it and see it at a completely different angle. And that's why I love seeing and working with other tinters, because I'll just steal those ideas, and then that way I'm better for that, because now I know my way, but then I know now how someone else might look at it or how someone else might do it. And that's always a good thing. Always a good thing. So the question asks, I noticed that if I don't do a final pass with a Blue Max after using the Orange Crush blade, I see lots of moisture blisters that come up. They go away, but does this happen to you? Stop using the Blue Max, start using a Red Line. They're phenomenal. But yes, moisture pockets do happen, and I always say that. I'm very clear with that. I never say moisture bubbles. I don't use the word bubbles because when people hear bubble, they think air bubble or air pocket. I just say moisture pockets. Yeah, that's what I say, not air bubble. Don't use the word bubble. And they do happen, you know, after, because it's a wet install. So that's why we tell people to keep the windows up for 2 to 3 days or 4 to 5 days, whatever you say, because there is still excess moisture within the film. You will see like the streaks, and they will like collect to become like little eraser-sized balls of moisture, and then those evaporate. We tell people to keep their windows up because we need time for the film to cure and all that moisture to evaporate out. So that is normal. Don't freak out if you see it. If someone freaks out because they see that, just inform them of that as well. All right, guys, I got a couple more questions here, and then I might be wrapping up if I don't see anything. So if you got questions, if you're watching, let me see how many people are watching us. Let me see how many people. 18 people still. If y'all watching on here, don't be shy. Get on that keyboard. It ain't gonna kill you now. It ain't gonna kill you. Jose, sweet. We'll check out the forums now. Have 2,600, but can have 5K in a couple weeks. Wow. I love that. I love that. Me, I'm a snob, especially when it comes to business. Personal stuff, I'll buy a used car. But business? Buy a brand new. Who cares? The business is paying for it. Plus, it's tax deductible. So sorry, I got distracted here on something that popped up on my computer. I would just, you know, to be honest, as a tinter, as a one-man tinter with a plotter, you know, covering maybe 75% of your time, booking 75% of your time throughout the year, you can make over 150,000 easy. You know, and if a plotter costs $5,000, you can buy a plotter every year. Who cares? That's just the way I think. I mean, most people don't do it. They don't want to waste the money, but just saying. Jose asked, what software are you using? I am using Precision Cut because we have Lumar. So that's just the, it's Precision Cut. It better be Precision Cut. I'm pretty sure it is. Jesse Ramirez asks, what size rolls do you suggest for beginners? Before I used to say 36, but you cut it really close with 36 because sometimes some films are not, you know, some windows are just too long for a 36-inch roll. So I've fallen in love with a 40-inch roll. I think a 40-inch roll is really great. 40 inches is enough, obviously, to cover the back window, all back windows, and if you cut it in half, 20 inches, you'll cover most windows in 20 inches. And worst case scenario, if it's not, you can always turn the film sideways and then just shrink side to side instead of up to down, up and down, like on like a truck or a big van or something of that nature. But a 40-inch roll is solid. That's the way I would do it. And for back windows, the tip on those 40-inch rolls, because most of the time you are going to be long on the back window, just trim the top or the bottom, keep the top or the bottom long, and just leave that strip. You'll probably get about a 6-inch strip, ballpark-ish, and you can save that for like glare strips, because if you save that and every time you sell another glare strip or a sun strip, then that's another. Some people sell them, I don't know why we sell them so cheap, but we do them for $20. I mean, that's nothing. But I know cats that are selling for $40. I know, and that's on a plotter. Now if you have to do, if blade has to hit glass, I know people that are charging $50 for that, because some front windshields are just a pain in the butt. England. Julian with a £5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Hey Patrick, welcome from England. Always supporting. Always. I'm gonna see you every week, Julian. Stop donating. You always donate. I'm gonna be here every week now. I'm gonna make you. You're not gonna lose all your. I hope you're not gonna lose all your money on £5, but definitely appreciate it, brother. And I hope that you guys are enjoying these live streams. These are obviously here to help and benefit everyone. And I'm going to be trying to come up with better topics. If you guys have any other topics, concerns, things that you want to go over, I really do. I don't want this to just be Q&As. Because even though the Q&As are fun for me, I want it to be able to be informative as well. So I do want to be covering topics or interviewing people as well. If you have any suggestions, comment down below. And we'll go from there. Let me see here. I'm just reading a question. Hold on one second. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. So I want to share a trick. It says, when doing visor strips, mark on both sides after you measure with a Sharpie. Make a few different marks, then line up your tint to the Sharpie, even on the inside, easier than tape. Sharpie. Jaybird, are you saying you're using a Sharpie on the outside to mark it up and then line it back up? Is that what you're saying? I want to give me a little bit of clarification, please and thank you. Let's see what I got here. Who is messaging me? I feel like I've been gone for so long. Oh, my land, my lights are like super light. Like they're not as bright. I tried turning them on or like full, like I did it before. For some reason, I was completely blown out. Maybe it's the hat. I don't know. Let me see. Do not drink in front of us. You make us thirsty. Well, that's every tinner. Ever. Every tinner. Ugh. God, see, that's another reason why I'm doing this. Is because we need an infusion of people. Guys, if you guys what was that? I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to Patrick Franco's podcast on Window Film Pros. You guys can check it out. And he had a round table with a bunch of guys over at the Tin Off. And one thing that they were saying is that someone noticed that like in the crowd, everyone was like 50 years old. Like there are no young players in the game. You know, Robert over at Soak Shield, he's my age. Me, I'm young, and I'm 34. I'm fixing to be 35. But there's not a lot of young cats out there, and a lot of people nowadays aren't even going to college. You know, they're just like vocational schools is where it's at. I'm telling you. I know I'm trying to talk. I don't know why I'm trying to talk my brother into it. I don't have to try to talk him into it. But I mean, I know cats that you can make 50 grand a year after getting into this industry, and that's working for someone. You can make up to, I've heard people making up to 90 grand a year working for someone. You can make a lot more if you're working for yourself. So that's probably another reason why that's why I'm starting CertifiedTinter.com. Me and Matt are working together because we want an influx of tinters, people to join the industry. Every shop I talk to, everyone is having problems finding a tinter. So if you're thinking about doing tinting, being a window tinter, you're thinking about getting into the industry, you're on the fence about doing it, definitely do it. It's a phenomenal industry. You can definitely make some money. Hell, 3 years ago I was barely doing anything, and you know, now my 2 kids and my old lady, I mean, I support them all, and you know, and I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. So if you're on the fence about being a window tinter, get in the game. It's so much fun. You can make so much money, and you can enjoy yourself. I love what I do every single day. Do I tint semi-trucks? Hernandez asked. Do I tint semi-trucks? I will, but I charge a lot more for them. Like for a set of front roll-ups, I'll probably charge $100, maybe more. Because semi-trucks are a pain in the butt. Number one, you need to have a facility that you can bring trucks in. Just a cab, obviously, you don't want the whole rig. towing a rig or anything like that. But there's a lot of climbing up, climbing down. Unless your software has the cut printed out, you're most likely going to have to hand cut that puppy. And it's just a lot of work. So charge a premium for semi-trucks. I don't own the shop I work at because I work there. I don't own it. So I don't make the calls. If it was my own shop, I probably wouldn't, just because it's one of those things where it's more of a pain in the butt. And I can fill my time with other cars. So it's just not, it really wouldn't be worth it for me. Okay, so one good question here. How do you make a sun strip appear straight? Since the glass is convex, it makes the sun strip appear rainbow shaped. Okay, so it's funny. Because on a curved piece of glass, if you have a straight piece of film, it's gonna bow down at the ends. There we go, bow down at the ends. But if you have a curved piece of film, then it's gonna look straight. One thing that I do is that I will have like a piece of string and then a Sharpie. So there's the piece of string, like maybe I'll tie it to something, like either another pencil or like a pencil or something. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the Sharpie along the top and following the line with a piece of string, right? Like a 6-inch piece of string. And I'm going to keep that tight and follow the top edge of the car with the Sharpie. That's how I make the curved windshields, especially when I'm going to be doing it by hand. That's pretty much the only way. I've heard some people using like a quick square, like it's the square piece of metal that you'd be doing make sure something is square, and they just put a Sharpie at the very end and then just follow the top. The trick is to keep the same distance and follow the edge or the frame of the top of the glass, and it'll appear straight. It definitely appears straight. Julian, what is your opinion about Red Fusion? The red line, I just went over it. They're phenomenal. Get your hands on as many as you can. You don't even have to wet the glass. You can just literally just squeegee on. Last couple questions. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up shortly, guys. Johnny says Tint Semi is $100 for 2 windows. Yep. All right. Let's check it out here. About 19 people watching. All right. Well, we've been on for just a little bit. About 45 minutes. Not too bad. So I am going to go ahead and shut her down at this time. If you guys, again, this is Window Tinting Business. We do our live streams every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. And we're going to be doing them every Tuesday from now on, unless I'm like out of town or something crazy, and I will let you guys know ahead of time. I don't have a topic for next week just yet. If you guys do have a topic for it, go ahead and comment below, and then that way I can go ahead and pick and choose, because I want to be discussing things that you guys want to talk about, and if not, I'm just going to be picking them, and then we'll just see how good they go from there. But quick shout outs. Let me see here. They used to have a where is this thing? I'm listening to the background music for me. Well, they used to have a thing where I can see all the super chats. But let's see here. Thanks again for thanks to Julian over in England here for the £5 super chat here, and also Tropical Shade Tinting with the $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate that, guys. I just want to I'm going to be doing the super chat shout outs at the very end of the live streams as well. Closing out here. Let me think if there's anything else. We're going to be discussing next week's topic. I'm going to figure out next week's topic before next week. And keep an eye out here. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, click on the bottom left-hand corner, or bottom right-hand corner for you. Blue box, click on that, and you'll go straight to a subscribe section, and you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified whenever I go live or update videos as well. And then and just keep an eye out for the events, especially for next Tuesday. I don't have any plans for any other videos to come out as of yet, but I'm always working on stuff as well. So I think that's gonna be it, guys. I thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you all next week.